full marks, but you do understand this is not going to go unanswered.
2 months ago, I purchased a 20-year-old Land Cruiser. I was in Australia, but the vehicle in South Africa. It's for my own use in Africa when I visit to come and explore. And now I'm here to rebuild this vehicle and turn it into an overland tourer.
Yeah, belts on.
All the belts.
So this is what's amazing about these guys when you get it. You get a complete set board.
I'm St Pierre White. Join me as I share my passion for building four-wheel drive trucks and then travelling to the remotest parts of the world. Time now to go through the stock of parts that's arrived on our doorstep thanks to Terrain Tamer.
In the early part of 2019, I went to a big motoring show in Melbourne and was chatting to people at Terrain Tamer. And they said to me, I would like to work with you. You know, we've seen your work. You know. What do you think? And to be honest with you, I drew a blank. I thought, well, yeah, I mean, I know your company. You've been around a long time and you have a fantastic reputation, blah, 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 blah. But how am I, who generally builds dream machines and new vehicles, going to work with a company that primarily supplies replacement parts for four-wheel drive vehicles around the world? And I honestly did not know how this was going to work. And then this project suddenly appeared as an opportunity to build an old vehicle. So I gave them a ring and said, thinking about doing this. And their reaction was, that's exactly what we do. What do you need?
Ah, that's the viscous fan clutch.
Yeah, belts on.
All the belts.
So this is what's amazing about these guys when you get it. You get a complete set of all the belts, you know, in a nice bag which you can keep and use. These bags are often useful. And then you get the radiator hoses, but you get all the clamps and the small hoses that you always struggle to buy. So it's a complete cooling kit with the small hoses. And here, heater hose kit. Again, good quality hose clamps, gives the pipes. It's just, yeah, it's beautiful. Here's our bush kit. Very nice.
Bracket for the filter.
So this is the flash loop filter. So you've got two filters already in the car.
Yes.
We're going to probably end up removing one of them
and replacing it with this. Yes.
And replace this, put this flash loop on it. The fact that you can see through that inspector is so valuable. So yeah, that's going to be really useful to us.
It's the hub.
So this is, here we've got a spindle, and generally you find these all sealed up. These wear, and they've made some improvements on these when I was speaking to them. So I'm really interested to see. A lot of the Terrain Tamer parts have actually gone through a process of being tested, obviously by the mines in Australia, and the mines have actually shown the weaknesses in the parts, okay? And where it's been OE parts, they've gone and worked with OE manufacturers to understand how, if they had a choice to redesign the part, they would improve on it. So because they're a unique company, they're like a four-wheel drive company who do parts in a complete sort of aspect, they were able to take the parts and say, how can we improve this part to make it better, and then put it back out in the market and test it. So I'm really excited to see some of the differences they've made and changed from some of the parts that are actually OE parts they will have improved on. But certainly the way they put the kits together, as you can see, they put stuff together which really makes it much easier to take it and fit it onto the car. And if you're taking spares, to take a spare hose kit and put all your hoses in here, what a treat. I'm now going to put this as a spare kit in my car. Even if it's the old hoses I take off.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
It's a spare
so
kit.
nice. I can see what this bag actually gives. It's really lovely.
Really good.
So, very excited about that.
So, what we've got here, we've got a clutch. That's the fan.
So this is a tropical fan. It's actually, it's just a design. I wouldn't know exactly what they've changed, but certainly they've made some improvements to make it more efficient for cooling. The vehicle here hasn't got this fan or the viscous, so we're going to refit it to make it better.
Reduce clutch, coils.
So here's your wheel bearing kit. You got a knife there, too?
It's got the new spigot bearing inside.
Nice.
The older ones had a solid bush. So this one's got a little bearing.
Much better, eh? Yeah, that's nice. Nicely engineered.
Oh, it's Christmas. Look at that. Ooh,
nice.
Huh? Gee, that's nice.
Very nice. Nicely done.
And apparently they've got some kind of double lip on these things.
So they've
You know
got a
about the
double,
lip.
they've got a double lip on the seal. Very nice.
It's a little bush. Spare one for that.
So if you weren't changing
Bundles.
this, you would change. You'd put the new bush in. So keep those spare. And this is the whole swivel kit. Very nice. Wow. Good quality bearings. This is the one I was very curious on. So here's your the tube seal for the front CV.
Yeah.
But look here, look at how they've done it. It floats. It allows for a bit more movement.
Yeah. The old models from your 75 series and 60s seal was almost like the axle seal. So you didn't have a lot of movement, so they improved it with the newer models. So if your axle has a bit of play, the seal will run with it.
Otherwise the shaft runs inside, and if there's a bit of play or movement, and of course then the grease escapes. And the biggest problem you have is you have the CV joint grease escaping into the axle casing. And a lot of that CV joint grease is not good for the crown wheel and pinion, because it actually takes off the case hardening. So on the older cars, when they were servicing the cars, one of the things I always say to people is check the condition of the oil in the front diff when you're doing servicing. So dip your finger in or drain a bit off to see if it's grey. If it's grey or discoloured, drain it, flush it, and put new oil in. Because when the oil is mixed with the grease, it takes off the case hardening on the crown wheel and pinion, and you can see it. So it's important that your front diff is running in oil and not oil and grease mixed. But with these kind of seals, this is actually going to reduce a lot of that problem that's been caused over the years. So it definitely made some nice improvements.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere.
It's impeller light. One thing I do like is what they do is you get a complete filter kit. So you get a sump washer, you get your oil filter, you get your fuel filter.
So that's like it's a service kit.
It's a complete
One
service kit.
Okay.
So if you're traveling and you want to go traveling or something, you take a kit like this.
Outstanding.
It's very nicely put together. Very nicely.
What's nice, they actually supply you with a front CV with the axle fitted and already greased.
And greased.
Oh, they supplied those too.
Wow, that's brilliant. As you see, that's often the case. People don't grease them properly. So now you can just put that straight in. So here's the rear wheel bearing kit. Now we've got universal joints. What we will do with your prop shafts is send them off and have them reconditioned and let the guys fit these universal joints and then balance the shafts again.
That's your timing belt kit
Drive belt, okay, yes.
with your tensioner bearing.
That's an idler pulley bearing, is
Yes,
it?
yes. And they also supplied you with the cam, the pump and the crank seal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Nice, eh?
So the process is now basically to strip the vehicle down. We're checking the air conditioning because there was no air conditioning belt, so we need to know if there is a fault before other parts of the vehicle are stripped. Check the air conditioner, compression test, and then the vehicle will be dismantled and everything that we know we're going to be replaced, taken off, and in this case also the gearbox removed because we know that there is a gearbox problem. So I'll be back in the next few days and to follow progress as we go And then I'm sure I will have hundreds of questions to ask Paul on why we are replacing some components. Are those components absolutely necessary to be replaced, or is it just a good idea? And are we just doing it because we've got the support of people like Terrain Tamer? So my plan is that you, at the end of this, will understand what are the components that really, really must be replaced, what is optional, and what is a nice to have, and replace them if you can. That's the picture that I'd like to create and present over the next few weeks.